the Delmarva Almanac. Each week we connect you to the best of Delmarva. Like other almanacs, our aim is to tell you a little bit about our past, our present, and events in the near future. I'm your host, Dana Kester McCabe. Companion planting is an ancient practice that is being rediscovered and studied. I recently spoke to Carrie Murphy, Extension Educator in Horticulture with the Delaware University Cooperative Extension, about companion planting today.
There's a little bit of literature and a little bit of research that's been done to support the idea of companion planting. Many vegetable gardeners who have been vegetable gardening for a long time, they swear by it. It's the idea of planting two or more plants together that are companions to one another, so they like to grow together and in fact have been noted to enhance production. For example, a lot of people like to put basil with tomato, and some gardeners will tell you that enhances the flavor of the tomatoes. Some gardeners will tell you that the plants that they use as companions to the vegetables will attract pollinators and beneficial insects that again will enhance the growth of that tomato. Commonly planted vegetables like carrots and cucumber, eggplant, they have suggested companion plants. And then on the flip side of that, there are some plants that have been noted to not grow well with those particular vegetables. I think ultimately what vegetable gardeners or food gardeners want to see is better production. And so I think that's always the goal, is how can you grow plants together so that you get a better tasting plant, a better, healthier plant, a better producing plant. And, the more tomatoes that you can harvest, the better tasting tomatoes that you can have, I think is really what people are striving for.
This is Dana Kester McCabe with the Delmarva Almanac, and Carrie Murphy, who is telling us about companion planting.
So something that we've done here at the Extension office, we've gone ahead and the Master Gardener volunteers have actually designed and installed a vegetable garden here at our office, which serves as a teaching garden. And together with our integrated pest management specialist, Dr. Brian Kunkel, we've designed the space so that we actually have a perimeter planting around the garden of a number of native plants that we know will bring in pollinators and beneficial insects that will then target some insect pests that show up in your garden. The common example is aphids on your plants, and lady beetles like to eat aphids. And so we've tried to identify some native plants that really attract a diversity of beneficial insects that will help us to target some of the insect pests that show up in our garden.
Carrie says some varieties of flowers mixed in with the fruits and vegetables are also helpful, warding off some troublesome critters.
Marigolds is a common example. More than anything, it has to do with the fragrance of the flowers and the leaves, which has been noted to repel certain insect pests and also small mammal pests. And so that's one that people like to plant in particular sort of around the edges of their garden, or if you're gardening in a raised bed on the corners. So a lot of people like to tuck herbs in. Flowers that you can eat are a lot of fun too. So not only are they sometimes attracting beneficial insects, but things like pansies and nasturtiums, thinking about how much you can get out of your garden and, what you can harvest, everything from roots to stems to leaves to flowers.
The Cooperative Extension offices in each state have diagnostic services that you can contact to help you identify diseases and which insects in your garden are pests and which are beneficial. Companion planting is not only a good gardening strategy. According to Carrie, it makes for a much more interesting landscape.
I really tuck my vegetables and fruit, amongst my ornamentals. So it's a real blended way of gardening, I like to think of it. So every open space that I have between my ornamental plantings, I tuck greens and cucumbers and herbs and whatever it is that I want to grow that particular season into existing plantings. And so you really can walk around my entire yard and find something to eat. That was one of my goals, and I just continue to have fun with that.
Visit our website, delmarvaalmanac.com/gardening, for links to area cooperative extension offices, a companion plant list, and a list of edible flowers. And don't forget, that's also where you can find links to local produce stands and CSAs. We'd like to thank our community partners, the Friends of Delmarva Public Radio, the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and underwriters EatDrinkBuyArt.com for their help in bringing this program to you, our audience. Our theme music was provided by Brightside Studio. This show has been a Moonshell production. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, may the rhythms and tides of Delmarva bring you good fortune.